from taking down a crazy vegan,
they're not exactly the same thing. They're not exactly the left and right ass cheek on the same ass,
to completely canceling out a fake guru.
a guy who has become a complete parody of self-confidence, but without any level of self-awareness.
These 6 content creators took the battle to Charlie and crushingly lost it. The first victim was Richard Burgess, or Penguinz0. YouTube viewers found out about him after a lot of videos with very strange behavior and constant reminders that Penguinz0 hates people.
I don't know how I could possibly be labeled as a hypocrite. I never said I liked people. I hate people. I think they're worth something, but the majority of the human race, I just have absolutely no respect for. So don't get on my bad side, make some Penguinz0 and be nice to animals or I'll kill you.
And after Charlie's video in which he condemned the incorrect treatment of live animals,
There's a YouTuber that has made an entire career out of torturing and eating animals alive for their mukbang videos. Yeah, they're actually alive. It's not like some kind of post-mortem response or anything, and even in the title she makes it well known the octopus are alive and that she's eating them alive. That's the whole draw of the video.
in an effort to resurrect his career, Penguinz0 decided to respond to Charlie and called him a hypocrite. Penguinz0 then attempted to prove its position.
Sausage casing, but I feel like I've been scammed and got intestines.
Penguin will complain about So Young abusing, torturing, and murdering these sentient animals, these very intelligent animals, by the way, like octopi and squid, but he's totally fine with abusing, torturing, and murdering other very intelligent animals.
But Penguinz0 as a real hero didn't stay silent.
Compare eating a chicken tender to a woman beheading a squid and pouring sauce on it to watch it squirm around and dance on a YouTube video that's supposed to entertain children. They're not exactly the same thing. They're not exactly the left and right ass cheek on the same ass here. You know, not Coke and Pepsi. They're not the two sides of the same coin.
But it is important to realize that most of Charlie's video was about how he is not against meat substitutes or vegan products, but about how people like Penguinz0 are destroying everything good that can be in this movement. And even then, many people took Charlie's side in this conflict. Charlie's words of wisdom shakes his house like an earthquake. Charlie is so right, his camera even nods in agreement. The following video, in which Penguinz0 tried to criticize American Jesus, was seen as a pathetic attempt to prolong his existence on YouTube. Charlie published the final video that ended the confrontation and finally destroyed the crazy vegan.
And I don't care that you criticized me, I have thick skin. The point I'm making is your entire history on YouTube has been actively shooting the idea of meat substitutes in the foot to people that aren't in the know. You say a lot of it's geared towards education, but if you look at the video you made about me, only a chunk in the middle seems educational where you talk about the alternatives and, well, here's what you could have done. That's educational. The entire second half of the video is you call So Young a piece of shit, look in the mirror, you're a hypocrite, 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 you do this, you're a hypocrite, she does this, she's not a hypocrite, you're a hypocrite, big hypocrite.
But if Charlie showed the vegan any respect, his next victim was completely destroyed. DeNoodles came under Charlie's radar on August 19th, 2022, after posting the first episode of his show, The First Super Roast Battle.
I'm not supposed to win. You're supposed to win.
You look like a white trash fly.
You could have gone any way with that. You went with white trash fly?
On August 21st, Charlie publishes a video in which he mocked DeNoodles for the failure of his show.
It's an event he was hyping up for weeks, talking about how it's going to be the next big thing, it's going to be like a really big popular event, it's going to be great. He was even trying to goad some YouTubers into coming on to like settle their beef in a roast battle. So he was like going to charge them $15 in order to come on stage and roast each other. None of them showed up. In fact, almost nobody in general showed up. As you can see, it's not exactly like a sold-out stadium here. It's about 10 family and friends.
He also blamed Def for the terrible preparation, which made nothing happen for about 27 minutes.
The first, I think it's 28 minutes. So the first 28 or so minutes of this event is nothing but like rap music. That like, it's 26 minutes. Right around 27 minutes. The first 27 minutes, the event doesn't even start. They just like cycle through YouTube playlists of rap or popular music. So they didn't start on time. People just sit here doing fucking nothing for 26 minutes listening to bad music. And then we get into it. And it is immediately awful.
The audience supported Charlie in that the show was disgusting. This literally healed my social anxiety, Like no situation where I was awkward or cringe can live up to this. This really could not have gone worse. And when the show started, everyone was disappointed, including Penguinz0.
These are strangers. These two people have never met until they walked out on the stage together. So they can't actually roast each other. All they can do is insult each other's appearance, and it is painful. It is so hard to listen to.
The most interesting thing started after the video, my apology to Moist Critical for first Super Roast battle, in which DeNoodles, instead of accepting reasonable criticism, decided to react negatively to Charlie's words.
Anyway, Mr. Moist Critical, I thank you for your profound observations. I thank you for showing me the light. I will once again produce a Super Roast battle 2 weeks from now so we can wrong every right that was left unturned. So we can break every cringe record in the history of humanity, so we can murder any possibility of a comedian having any credibility ever again, because as we all know, folks, comedy is perfect.
John Wick from the YouTube world didn't stay quiet and started ripping DeNoodles for lying to him.
Here we are once again, addressing more allegations.
This is such a weird way of starting the video because I didn't make any allegations against him. I made jokes about the event and talked about it. The closest thing that came to an accusation from me, I guess, is when I compared the roast battle to an act of terrorism.
And then rebuked him for not reacting properly to ordinary things.
And I think that's what he's going through at the moment, where he's impulsively responding to things that are kind of non-issues, like me laughing at the roast, or people's response to the roast, or whatever the fuck is going on Twitter, and making a video about it, which is only further hurting him, which it's like a cycle.
After DeNoodles rudely shoved one of the show's audience members, Charlie heavily criticized him for it.
He pushes him from behind and then hides behind his friends to keep the other guy off of him, which I think is pretty lame. If you're gonna start some shit, you gotta finish that shit. You know, it's like vegetables, you gotta finish your plate, you can't just take a bite. If you're gonna push this guy and he's ready to respond, now it's on you to employ the knight's honor, you know, the code of conduct. You have started this fight, now it is your time to engage in it.
If after a conflict with Charlie, the losing comedian had to leave YouTube permanently, our next victim continues to be active on social media. It all started when Aiden Ross got another ban on Twitch.
I got banned for basically, I don't know if I should say that publicly. My legal team is advising me not to, but
don't say it, yeah.
But Train, what I will say is this though. What I got banned for makes no sense because I haven't. It said all I can say is it occurred on. It says it occurred on stream or on VOD. It wasn't occurred like somewhere else. It basically was occurred.
And last night he got banned again. This is far from his first rodeo. He's actually a veteran in this field. He's gluttonous when it comes to Twitch bans. He's eaten those puppies like muffins out of the oven.
Charlie then mocked Aiden for his dumbass act.
This goofy goober streamed the Super Bowl on Kick. He just streamed the entire Super Bowl watching it without permission from the NFL. It's not like he had some kind of like back alley handshake deal with Fox or the NFL to rebroadcast it. I'm pretty sure Aiden Ross can't even spell the word license, so he didn't have the rights to restream that shit.
But it wasn't the worst decision Aiden Ross has made in his career as a streamer.
He also just freely streamed on Kick. While streaming, Aiden Ross decided to go to Hub, I guess to make a point about how you can do anything on the site, and he just he showed to his audience, and keep in mind, a lot of his audience is very young, they're minors, they're actual children.
And all this against the backdrop of Aiden Ross speaking out against all this, and it was Charlie who emphasized this hypocrisy.
Now, what makes this really interesting is how hypocritical it is, because Aiden Ross has recently come out very hard against. He's taken up the Master Shield and he's blocking anything sexual. He's made these very huge statements about how will ruin your life and addiction to is gonna send you straight to hell and it's gonna make everything in your life miserable.
However, Aiden Ross decided not to respond to Charlie and continued streaming. If Aiden Ross chose not to confront Charlie, the next victim tried to fight Charlie and regretted it very much. Jason Wojo broadcast to his audience a picture of a beautiful life with huge sums of money and expensive cars.
He portrays himself as an extremely successful, extremely rich guy that would have no problem at all stealing your wife right out from under your nose. It's beautiful stuff that he talks about.
Take you, for example, and me, and we both pull up and we go to your girl. Odds are I'm gonna take that bitch. If you compared me to you, you're not gonna win that battle.
Bro's out here rocking that man dark body type and acting like he for some reason be able to take your girl just because he rolled up in a rented McLaren. This guy's entire personality is money. He's like a real life Mr. Krabs, but with even skinnier arms.
Charlie then questioned the truth that Jason is really as rich as he says he is.
Now, why I don't believe him about the success of his business is because the only thing he shows that's worth money is his car, the McLaren. He's made like 1,000 shorts about how much money he spends filling up a McLaren's tank, or how often he drives his McLaren.
You can tell just how secure he is by how he only ever talks about other guys' girlfriends and how he wishes he could have them. This dude is the real-life embodiment of I can do anything because I have 50 million power in Rise of Kingdoms. And a huge number of other viewers supported Charlie. However, Jason Wojo was not going to give up and published his response to Charlie, in which he once again mentions his McLaren.
First of all, okay, the car is not rented. Okay, I don't only own a McLaren. I used to have a 570S that was white. If you follow me for a while, you know this. It's a convertible drop top. Okay, had that car, sold it, got a yellow Maserati, then got bored, and I was like, I gotta get another McLaren. So I have a McLaren, a Maserati Ghibli. That's a 1 of 5, by the way, which costs way more than this entire fucking YouTube channel's ad revenue on a monthly basis. And then the McLaren GT. The keys are right here, okay? It's not rented, and it's 9:15 at night. If it was rented, I would have to return it by now.
Also, Jason kept trying to rebuke Charlie in some way and never forgot to remind him that he was actually rich.
Having a nice car is an accountability tool for me because I had to be able to afford it. It's not about now that I'm successful. It's about pushing yourself to a new level. People who don't make 8 figures don't understand that, unfortunately, so we're just gonna let that one slide for the rest of the video.
Charlie then published video that finally destroyed Jason Wojo's reputation.
So I have no doubt that's the play. But what if I was to accept his offer? I feel like that would be his legitimate worst nightmare because I am 100% sure he's never thrown a punch in his life, not even in his dreams, because his bones would shatter. And let's not forget, I do keep that big iron on me. And these pythons, they don't play nice.
If the destruction of Jason Wojo was not too grandiose, there was a lot of discussion about the conflict with the next victim. It all started with a video in which Critical mocks alpha male.
The entire purpose of this show is to bring women on to insult and belittle them to their face, while also preaching that men should have the right to cheat on their significant other as many times as they want. It's super hard to think that anything they say is real when they constantly make stupid fucking claims like this one.
You know, we're both triple-digit notch count. He's in the quadruples.
There is no reality in the entirety of the fucking multiverse where this man has slept with one woman, let alone over 1,000 of them.
After a long time, Sneeko noticed this and decided to respond while mentioning Charlie's girlfriend.
This is his girl. So there you go. I mean, I told you, like, I could hear it in your voice. The fact that someone doesn't have to abide by those rules. Someone could go and fuck a lot of bitches.
But Charlie parried those dumb words very clearly.
What the fuck are you even talking about? What does this have to do with anything? What does bringing up a picture of me and my girlfriend have anything to do with anything that has happened? And where is monogamy even coming from? You're fighting an invisible enemy right now. You're fighting ghosts that aren't real. Like, none of this had anything to do with the video itself of me joking about a stupid fucking story that this guy told.
Then Sneeko decided to prove to everyone that he is very cool and showed his weapon.
You wanna watch my clips? Watch my clips. Watch my clips. You want me to watch your clips? Watch my clips. These are the only clips I'm watching, you were?
But Charlie did not keep quiet, and not only explained that Sneeko is a goofy, but also showed his bodyguards.
But he's a fucking imbecile, you absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are mags. They're mags, not clips, you absolute fucking dummy. The same way that this is also a mag. They're all mags. Stop saying clips, you look fucking stupid here.
Charlie won the argument in 2 minutes, and still decided to film for 13 more. Only way Sneeko can beat Charlie is to pay another man to beat him. He has a lot of experience with making other men do his work. The end of this story was the total destruction of Sneeko and an apology to YouTube's John Wick. But while Sneeko at least remained human, the last victim lost his human form and was destroyed by Charlie for it. Kwebbelkop has started experimenting with his content by completely digitizing his identity. And in the video, you called me crazy, but I was right. Charlie criticizes him for it.
Minimal as possible for maximum content. The views aren't big or anything, but you have to remember, this probably didn't even have him in the same room. Someone had to have played Minecraft, sure, but here,
Today, I am stuck.
He is not here, this is all AI.
Then the degree of hatred for this approach to content creation only begins to rise.
There's not a single argument that can be made that what Kwebbelkop is doing is good. It's only good for him because he can make a lot of money off of it without ever doing anything at all, besides just being the one who owns the program. So here's one of his tweets about the AI video, just to give you a little insight. He didn't lift a finger, something that he proudly proclaims here. It is fully completed work without him ever actually being present for it. And he's going to make money off of it.
Then Kwebbelkop publishes a post called The End of Kwebbelkop AI. And while he managed to fool many viewers, Charlie's keen eye immediately exposed and destroyed him.
7 years ago, I started my YouTube journey. My one and only goal was to entertain as many people.
If you even watched it for a second, by the way, if you even went past the headline for 5 seconds into the video, you would immediately notice that something is awry, because it's not synced. The voice sync, or the voice and lip sync is completely off.
And I wouldn't trade this in for anything in the world. But even a dream job.
OMG, it's like a dub anime. It's not, okay, it's not that off.
This is not something.
Charlie said the words that forever destroyed the career and reputation of a formerly very popular YouTuber.
He keeps trying to fall back on this copium that it's there to enhance content, but it's not. It's just purely a detriment. No one is clicking on a Kwebbelkop video hoping to find a robot impersonating him. They're there to watch him play Minecraft or whatever, not someone deceive them. Right now, the only reason people ever click on a Kwebbelkop AI video is because they don't know that it's AI that they're going to be watching. It's there deceiving people.
After this destruction, Kwebbelkop never made it back to the top of YouTube,